Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the T.O.A Podcast. I am your host, Onvermel. Great here today with the captain. Ek.
Greetings.
Yes. I call him the captain once in a while. People don't know. He is Captain E.
At work, I'm the skipper.
You're still the captain to me. I won't call you skipper. Captain's too nice.
Just call me Captain Skipper.
Are you the skipper, though, of a Gawahi boat?
I could be.
Have you ever built a Gawahi boat?
No.
No, have I. Which is kind of sad. Because...
But I could.
I mean, I've seen people build them. Because, let's be honest, the designs in both MNOG games were,
Based off of
I'm assuming
pieces,
and I'm not sure, you can make a facsimile. That gets the point across. So long as you use those front wedge pieces, or wing pieces at the bow of the hull, you're good. But what is good, I think, is MNOG 2. Is it a good game? Because this is my thing, when it was out, and on a site, it almost never worked for us. It was, I think, a very glitchy program to try getting to work back in the day.
Perhaps just our computer had something to do with
Which probably had more to do with it. And let's be honest, I think we might have been too silly children to really know how to play it properly.
Yeah, we were kind of computer illiterate kids.
Very computer illiterate. But
still am to some degree.
Oh yes, very much so. I tried talking to one today and it gave me no answer. It's very sad.
Hey, my computer was talking way too much at me.
I think I heard some pinging earlier. But MNOG 2 is one of those things where technically, if you look at the first to the second, it's like, okay, the second is way bigger, it's grander, we can move more.
But some of those cola games are hard.
That is kind of the crux, right? The whole point of the game is to up your skills to play Coley and beat different teams, which I love. I think that's a great idea, and I definitely had fun, kind of. Because the only reason why I ever completed it is because we basically learned that all you need is stamina. You need a little bit of levels, I think, of all the others, and stamina. I don't think you need any balance, which is the hardest to do, I think.
Oh, for sure. I think when I was playing it, I tried to do it, I managed to get a 1 point to balance, but man, that's hard.
I think I might have maxed out at 3. Did you ever actually complete it?
Well, one time, I looked up online how to basically hack the game to just up your stats, so I did that. And man, it makes the cola game so easy when you just input 50 of it all.
I never did that, but yeah. Just pointing everyone. It's like when you put cheat codes on any video game, honestly.
I don't feel like grinding.
And, that's the problem with MNOG 2, is a grind.
Well, even just the moving from here to there is annoyingly slow.
It is annoying. It's not.
We did figure out if you double click, Hallie moves faster.
But there wasn't any fast travel. Even the first game had fast travel, which arguably, without it, it's still a faster game to move.
Well, the first game you click and you're in the next spot. Click your next spot.
But eventually you got the Kahoo,
yes, but
and then you can move around faster.
The second game you have to click, and then you have to watch Hallie walk across the screen.
It's cool and immersive in that sense, but it's like
after a while it gets very boring and slow.
So if you're try not to play MNOG all in a weekend. MNOG 2 in a weekend. It hurts a little bit. I will say this though, because when we played MNOG 2, that I would say was the catalyst to us being able to read Bionicle fluently for a bit. Because everything's written in both games everything is written in Bionicle, but with MNOG 2
just has more.
It has the rules of Coley, the history of Coley, I believe, and just a lot of notes. Like gone fishing and stuff like that, I think both games actually have that. But as you said, a lot. And so I think at that same time, we basically got to the point where you and me started writing Bionicle letters just on a whiteboard. We're writing stuff in matoran. Is there a scrap piece of paper that I want to send you a secret message while we're playing cards? Right? I think that happened once. We were playing cards, and one of us wrote something in Bionicle.
It only works if Zacta's not playing with us.
There was a point where he couldn't read it like we could, though.
That's true.
There was a very brief...
Even right now, still, he's probably the weakest at reading it.
And so, I would say the apex of the Bionicle writing fun was when you sent me a letter that I never responded to.
Yep, I wrote you a letter from the view of, like, well, it's not so much me writing, it was one of my characters writing a letter to one of your characters.
Which, by the way, if you're thinking about characters, it's the characters you see on screen. T.O.A Hanatu and T.O.A Onvermel are T.O.A personas, essentially, or T.O.A avatars.
So I wrote that letter to you, and you never said anything. Ever. I never got a response. Like, did it even arrive in the mail?
See, it's funny, because I was only bringing up this scenario with your wife while we were waiting for you to finish up with your meeting.
Yes.
And so I was talking about it, and I was just like, it was one of those cases where I've learned that if you give me time to think of a response, there's a good chance you won't get a response. Because what happens is I'm one of those people, if you talk to me in person, I don't think about what I'm going to respond, I just say. I just speak. I just instantly do. But I've trained myself that if I'm texting someone or messaging someone, I have to think about a response, because I don't want to, I actually want to make concise, I don't want to be, like, wrong. What happens is that I read something, and I plan to make a response later when I realize what I'm going to say, and then I don't know what I'm going to say, and then I just don't respond. And that was the problem, was I looked at the letter, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, not sure how I'm going to respond, and then kind of just kept not knowing what to say, and then stopped, and this even happened, the whole idea of not knowing how to respond got... The reason why this even came up in my mind for not knowing how to respond to people when people message me is I had someone on the BZ Power message board, or not on BZ Power forum, message me about the podcast and such, and because it's just so out of pocket and I'm not good at dealing with, like, online communication. And so the fact that I have a chance to, first off, think about my response, which means I have to think about it, which means if I think about it, I don't know what to say. Because I never know what to say, I just say. And so I just kind of was like, didn't have a response for a bit, and then eventually I ended up, like, responding to the guy, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, and this thing is, if anyone knows me, it's like, if you talk to me in person compared to sending me a message or something, unless you're, like, my one buddy, General Pitbull, you don't typically get the same sort of response from me. He's, like, the only person who can get, like, a normal, non-filtered, response through text, essentially. Although he's never gone in the Bionicle language, unfortunately. That is very sad.
I'm not sure if you can text in Bionicle.
That would be pretty cool if you could. I mean, I bet you could probably download a program that could do that. Well, most of would you be able to phone on the other end, be able to receive it on Bionicle?
That would be probably not.
Unless
you could probably set your phone that, like, everything you read is in Bionicle.
I bet you probably could.
There's probably a way to change the font, yes.
So, yeah. And it's gone to the point now, at least now, because since those air times of MNOG, I have written and wrote in Bionicle enough that I have not forgotten a single character what they're supposed to look like in such a long time that I don't think I am going to forget.
I've always been a little kind of confused. Like, Q has always tripped me a little bit.
I mean, it's a circle with this circle right where the little stick would go. It's like one of the easiest. L or J was one I really have to Q, J, and
sometimes I just get S mixed up. Like, wait, do they go here, or like where do the two circles go? Sometimes I just get mixed up.
I mean, there's a lot of little things like that, but the one I had a harder problem with was actually the numbers. Because for me, I've
never
5.
really had to do much with the numbers.
Right around number 5. It's like 1, easy, 1 line. 2, easy, 2 lines. 3.
Well, I think it goes.
It's like basically is 5 double circle, or is it 1 circle with 5 lines?
Yeah, I don't know.
I forget, because I remember thought I had gone it right, and I drew a bunch of pictures of Bionicle. Every page I'd number it with a new one, and I posted them online. This is years ago, and someone pointed out that I basically had goofed it. And I looked back at the old Bionicle Encyclopedia, and guess what? They were right. I had very much done goofed the numbers. And it's just because my brain kind of thought that, like, at 5 it would basically reset to, like, now 5 has the 2 circles, and then it's 1, 2. But the 5's got... It's 6 that has the double circle.
Just looking it up, yep.
But I thought 6 was 5. That was in 6, like, and then 9 would look like that with 2 circles, It made sense to me. But, again, as you were saying, we almost never had to use it.
No, I've never written in numbers ever.
Also, nice thing about
letters, yeah, lots. Numbers, yeah, almost never.
Also, that's one thing that I actually really respect about as far as more of every Bionicle game or movie has only ever had Bionicle characters. I can't say about every game, obviously, because I haven't played every game. I've only played a few. But as far as I'm aware of, both MNOGs only ever had just the Bionicle alphabet. All the Bionicle movies only have the Bionicle alphabet. And even something like Bionicle Heroes, I do own it, I just have never played it because it's for the PlayStation 2, and I don't have a PlayStation 2. And I generally don't know if it does or doesn't have only Bionicle characters, in-game, obviously, there'd probably be text on the screen telling you what your mission is in English, or in English, yeah, but I don't know if there would be any, if you saw writing on the wall, would it only be Bionicle? I've never played Bionicle here, so I don't really know. So if anyone knows that, let me know about all those other games. But definitely, I would say the MNOG 2 definitely was the one that had really ramped it up to 11. And you had to know Bionicle well enough to read, because it got to the point where I could almost read it fluently rather than go, okay, this is G-I-V, okay, that's give, M-O-N... Oh, give money, reading like that. I got to the point where I can go, okay, that's give, that's the, that's the word that's the word widgets, that's the word Kanoe, that's, what is that? Oh, no, okay. There'd be only occasional ones I would actually have to, spell out.
Yeah, we'd actually start recognizing words and not just the letters.
It was impressive. That was when basically you wrote that letter, I believe, was roughly that time.
But it actually was a time when I was just in my actual normal journal. I was writing in Bionicle.
That'd be so tedious.
It was a little bit, but I was actually that's why one reason why I was getting pretty good, because I was actually writing a fair bit of stuff.
I know I have I don't think I had a journal, but I have a bunch of random notebooks I think that have Bionicle written in, and also when I would draw pictures of Bionicle, I would write stuff in Bionicle. Even when I still do write basically character stats and such, I will write stuff in Bionicle about what their Kanoe is. But this I'll write in English and I'll write in Bionicle too. Just for the
got to keep the practice.
You
use it or lose it.
Exactly. You got to keep the practice, and so I don't think. And there was definitely a point where I did that at work all the time, where my standing at a till, you got a little sheet where you sign on basically what time you got at the till, you sign off. But on the side of it, I would just write random notes in Bionicle. So much so that one of my supervisors actually recognized it, or he did eventually figure out what it was after a little bit of research. But I used to do it all the time to the point where he just recognized it. He can't read it, but he can recognize it. But I hadn't done it in years. But How One and How One's wife, when she had me as a Secret Santa, got me a shirt that said Paul and Onvermel and Bionicle, and I went through Sobeys one day with it. He looked at it, he was like, "That's your secret message writing," and I'm like, "You still remember? Well done." It was a cute little. Actually, and I have gone one coworker to write in Bionicle at one point. I had a friend who worked there, and for a brief time, I would little notes, and she very quickly learned to figure out what I was writing down. She did her research. And so she basically would start to write stuff, and then we write little notes to each other, basically saying what it was. It was fun times. And then our poor other coworker, Eric, had no idea what was going on. So sad. What a fun guy.
Good times.
That was 6 years ago now. So long ago. But what isn't good times is slugging through stats to win Coley.
The amount of clicking to carry those rocks.
It's
it actually did come in help at work on my computer.
How?
To just quickly erase a bunch of stuff. I was just quickly erasing. I'm like, I've been training for this. I was lifting rocks to train for this.
It is the only skill in that game that you're learning that you're also physically learning in real life. Where you have to have stamina with your finger to get the stamina to lift those rocks, which. Because what was it? It was stamina and it was strategy for the Pokor Mahi, which that wasn't too bad.
Accuracy was Lee Coro, I believe. Or was that speed?
No, that was accuracy because the thing's going down. Strength or speed of throwing disc was attack horror, where they had to throw desert rocks, so I think it had to do with, like, you had to, like, power up the throw or something.
Well, that would just be power, I would think.
I can't... And also, you know, Kokoro was balancing, and then Gakoro was, well, like, I guess do with your heart rate, because you have to go deeper and deeper to, like, collect stuff. No, you had to chase a shark underwater with speed. That was speed.
Yeah, that was speed.
Right, you had to sword. And, okay, see, the thing about this is, what I've really wanted to do for, like, years, and I think I know I've talked to you about this, where I would love to do, like, a series of videos, or, like, just a longer video, where I'm just training for Cole, you know, like, doing the 6 training things for Cole. Okay, stamina, easy. Just find some big rocks and make me move it back and forth. Easy peasy, right?
We may not be able to find rocks, but we can find other stuff for you to lift.
Strategy, British Bulldog.
Sure.
It's pretty much the same thing. People heading this way, and you have to try and stop them getting the other side. It's just British Bulldog, you know? You get other people to be the Mahi. It's not that hard to get people to be Mahi, right? Okay, not too bad. Balancing. I can find a pole.
Oh, yeah.
I can find a pole, I'm sure I can. Accuracy? Give me a Frisbee. It's perfect. They use this, I can find a Frisbee. The Takor one where you're having... I think you have to, like... I had that brief story on my own, that wasn't too difficult. But the speed... Specifically because that was... You're swimming underwater to catch a shark. So you want to do it in a proper way of trying to... Because it wasn't just speed, but I think you also have to hold your breath, too. Like, it was a mixture of, like, holding your breath and, like, catching it in before you lost your breath. So it's like... If you want to do it properly... I'm not going underwater to catch something. I can't hold my breath for more than, like, 13 seconds.
Well, you don't have to go underwater to hold your breath.
But if I train speed, do I want to just, like, swim, like, on top of the water and try to get, like, one side to, like, catch something? But, like, what am I catching? Like, or am I just running?
A toddler.
Oh, gosh. That guy, he can move pretty fast, though, sometimes.
Toddlers are the perfect thing because you blink and all of a sudden they are far away.
You also can't predict where they're going to go.
Yeah. Or it's the complete opposite and you know exactly where it's going to go because they're a toddler and they only go 2 routes.
So essentially that means I just need to figure out what that last with how we learned to Takoro or Tawai basically.
I think it's power.
So get a stack of cardboard box and go, okay, can I knock this off with a disc?
Nah, just punch it.
And then someone get me, and then we'll play lacrosse. I mean Coley. 2-person lacrosse. 3-team, 2-person lacrosse. Oh, also, can I just say the idea of Coley being a 3-team game is kind of cool.
Because sometimes you have to strategize with your enemy.
Like, because I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay. Because I always remember liking Mask of Light, the fact that, I never liked the fact that Hookie didn't win. Not because I didn't like Hallie, but the fact that Browns were my team, and I was proud of the Pocoros. I was cheering for Pocoro, literally. I was cheering. It wasn't that I was watching the movie Insecure, I was cheering for Pocoro. And so, of course, Hookie won. But I was happy that he scored twice. Hafu, I believe, only let in 1 goal. And so you look at the stats, and it's go, okay, that means Maku probably let in the most goals, by the way. Because Jal only let 1 in. That we saw. Because nothing gets by the Captain Guard.
If Hafu scored 1...
No, Hafu let in 1.
If Hafu let in 1, and Jala let in 1, and Gakuro scored 3...
Maybe Jala let in twice? So, it's like, you don't actually see it all, but I'm assuming... Okay, that's actually a good point. No, actually, not this point. So I'm assuming she must have scored on Hafu twice. Because I think the idea is that Jala didn't let anything in until Hallie scored on him. Debatably throwing the game.
Honestly, I'd have to watch the movie because I really can't remember.
But remember, Pokor had scored twice, so it's like, okay, Takua scored, I think...
0.
I think 0. So Hookie and Hallie are both scored twice, right? They're tied. Mm-hmm. Hallie only wins because Jala, I think, let it in. I don't know if that's the idea, but I like to think that Jala let it in a little bit, you know? I mean, he was playing up a big word saying, nothing gets by me unless I wish it, and then goes by him, but... He likes Hallie, so it's like, so did you let it in, or did she just get best you? I think it probably is that she just bested him in the game, but it's funny, I like to believe that Jal let it in, so that, like, Hookie didn't lose because Jal cheated. For my personal Pokoro, it was in. It wasn't in. In that particular case, it wasn't in, but in 04, it was in. So, but... Well, do you know of any, like, actual sport? Not like card game or board game that is like an activity with teams, that's like 3 they can really think of. That's like mainstream. Refs don't count as a team before you say it.
I don't think there's any.
Like, I'm sure there are probably, like, in other countries that, like, that is in Canada, because, honestly, my sports knowledge is limited mostly to Canadian sports, and, you know, sports that are at least similar.
North American.
And, like, let's be honest, the standard sport is one team versus one team. Like, that is just the normal sporting, it's like, maybe that's the difference between a sport and a game. A game, you have more players. Well, sports, you get teams. I mean, tennis is a sport, you don't really have teams, but again, it's one-on-one. It's like, imagine playing tennis with, like, 3 people. So that, like, I mean, yes, in the actual MNOG game, you're playing 2 team matches, but then the final is 3 teams. Or the championship is 3 teams, which, to me, that's just such a fun concept of... And, okay, this is the thing, is I kind of have Fall Guys. You may not even know what Fall Guys is. Obviously, you don't, but most people listening probably do. It's a video game where basically it's like, you have like 32 players or something. You go through different like challenges or something. Sometimes they're races. Sometimes it's like basically the first 16. Okay, they make it. They get to the second round, right? And sometimes there's some team matches. One of which is sometimes there'll be a match where you have to get the most balls and like steal balls from other people and get them more. And there's a 3-person game. And what usually happens every time is once one team looks like they're losing, the other 2 just start picking on that one. And then it's an exponential loss. Which is probably one reason why 3-team sort of situations aren't really a thing, but when you only have 3 goals in a Coley game, you know, there's a lot less time to start picking on, you know. But still, the idea of a 3-person game is really cool. And honestly, the idea of just playing Coley in real life to me just seems really cool. I mean, I play lacrosse, but I feel like it's pretty similar.
If you go OG Cole, it's just soccer.
With 4 nets?
Yeah.
It's basically, you know, it's just air hockey. But like the air hockey with like the round air hockey tables.
Yeah, that would be a more accurate description.
Because you're one person guarding a goal and trying to kick it away. Which, I'm okay with that. But when you're just trying to do that in real life, actually would be kind of... You know, maybe that's what we need to do with videos. Like, you know, the different, like playing original Coley. You, me, Zachtan... Ah, crap, we don't have a 4th Bionicle fan in town, do we?
We'll just have to
make
one and
I'll kidnap General Pitbull, maybe. I'll kidnap him. Or maybe we can even...
If we wait 10 years, my toddler will be 12.
And we'll be too old to play.
Hey, I'm only going to be 42.
You'll throw your back up before
I'm already too old to play this stuff.
You stand in one spot and kick a ball. You can make it a beach ball if you want.
And then I'm pretty sure I can still do that at 40.
Also, I have this theory. One theory why I think they might have had to change Coley, because when Coley first came out, it was just poker played, right? They were kicking a rock. Have you tried kicking a rock?
Kind of hurts.
And so they went. So we're going to make a new Coley. We have sticks.
We're going to throw the rock.
But the rocks are smaller. Which makes me wonder what kind of rock... Can I just say the Coley ball looks a lot like a Jedi training sphere?
The resemblance is definitely there.
I don't know. It's always looked a little bit weird. The one in the movie never looked like a rock. But, I mean, I guess it bounces more than a rock should. That guy just shows how durable, Bionicles are, that they are playing with rocks. Like, they're kicking rocks, and they're hucking them, with sticks.
When you're half robotic metal...
Like, I mean, we saw that Coley, we saw what happened when Takua, hoisted that Coley ball and shot it at Traga's Stodia. It made a hole.
It's a good thing Traga Vakama ducked when he did, because otherwise his mask may have been knocked off.
He could have died.
At least Vakama's a mask maker, so he knows how to fix it.
Does he have tools, though?
He has his staff.
He's a T.O.A fire, so he probably could. He probably, I mean, I don't know. Did he ever fix the mask? He actually did fix the mask of time. He did fix that, though. Yeah. He can fix stuff. He fixed the mask of time, didn't he?
And if he could fix that, he can fix a simple little Huna.
So instead of fixing Jowl's old mask, he goes, here, take this How.
He was probably just looking for an excuse.
He's like, here, take this How. You're never leaving my side.
I'll just take these pieces and maybe do something with them. That
mask is pretty unlucky, though, so, poor Jala. I mean, Lee Khan dies. Jala gets it. He dies. It goes to Korzani. The island dies. The island's gone. That mask is just unlucky. So, Jala never... I think he supposedly retrieved it. I think it said that the mask was retrieved before it got blown up.
I think so, yes.
But,
what else?
Also, my question is, does that mean that Drago Lacan's on the Red Star naked?
Sure, why not?
He's going around without a mask?
I'm sure some spare masks have made their way up there.
Yeah, have a look. I guess Mask Maker probably died at one point and has been stuck up there. Near his good twin.
Yeah, Neri's the evil one.
But yes, I guess if you really want us to do a goalie training, or me to do a goalie training sort of videos, or even just playing trying to play, see how real life air hockey. Goalie, or playing a real life.
Tell us in the comments.
All that sort of stuff. Because I would like to do this, but if I don't have people interested, I might have less motivation to do it.
We need a fire under his butt.
So I don't know. At some point, I still also need to make the next. What is that? It's going to be 500 subscribers. Going to be the next thing.
Yeah, 500.
Also, that's another thing. If we do ever get to 500 subscribers, we will either a galley will go into a water, or Kopaka is going to meet his demise to ice, depending what time of year it is.
Exactly.
An iceberg or an ocean? Which one would you rather have happen? Depends when it happens.
We don't have an ocean nearby, but I do have a pond nearby.
I won't leave galley in the pond. I swear. I'm not polluting. Maybe.
Not purposely. If the mask happens to fall off.
If I hug a galley in the pond and just can't find her, I go, well.
I was kind of thinking just maybe attach a string to her.
So anti-fishing, where you're casting your line, go catch me some fish, galley. Yeah, these are definitely ideas.
And maybe someday we'll dig up Onua.
I do plan to dig them up at some sort of landmark. Not sure when. Maybe it'll be an anniversary. I haven't hit any landmarks on anniversary hits. I'll go, maybe we'll do that for a Bionicle Day thing,
Yeah.
Actually, that's not actually... Oh, actually...
It happens in the summer, so...
Even just doing the Coley training video and putting that out on Bionicle Day or something like that would be kind of cool. Maybe not this...
There, now you're deadline.
Not honestly this Bionicle Day, but maybe next year or something. The thing is, I would have to find the time to do that.
Yes, time is in short
And if
supply.
I'm the one training, I need a cameraman.
Time. That's the force you needed.
Yeah, but the mask broke or Voprex got it, so it might be difficult. But that's all the time we have for tonight. More after that's all the time you, my dear brother, had for tonight.
Yeah, I gotta drop you off.
Yeah, I still need to go home. So, thank you all for listening. It's weird. I had a lot more plans for what the conversation was going to be, but I think this turned out well. We'll talk about MNOG to another day, I think. We'll go into more detail, because there's a lot to talk about that, I think. It's a pretty lengthy game. But until then, thanks everyone for listening and watching. Please like and subscribe, comment, tell me why purple's your favorite color, because it is. And I have been your host for today. No, crap, I said it wrong, and now I have to restart. I have been your host, Onvermel. This has been the T.O.A Podcast, and we are retiring from the night.